I don't want to make it like a law lecture, but these are these are our weapons of war. That's what I call them. And it's an ongoing fight. And if we know what it is that we have to use, we fight so much the better. But before I go on to that, I want to do a bit of sharing. And when I really became an activist, and when I decided that this is my mission in life and this is what I'm going to do all my life, is in 2007, when I heard of the Bangalore dog cull. At that time, I didn't even know that dogs are killed. I mean, see, we are all so in we are in our, what should I say? So much, yes, in our cocoons, that we don't realize that horrible things happen to lesser advantaged beings. Not people so much so, because there are so many non-governmental organizations, there are people looking after people, but there's so much that's happening to other life, and that is also other life, and they feel the way we do. They feel the same pain, they feel the same hunger, they feel the same want. Okay, now I'll quickly go through the laws, and I'll keep doing some sharing also. And we're going to be uploading this on the website. Rakesh forgot to tell you, I'm on the governing board of Voice of Stray Dogs, because I so completely believe that information has to be made public. And information must reach out to, we must reach out for information, and information must reach out to everybody, so that, we can make use of it to achieve whatever we wish to. I mean, it's no use if it's all kind of kept hidden. Okay, so let me quickly go through the provisions that you need to know. I will, not make it too much like a law lecture, but see, we have what is known as the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, which is a 1960 law. It's a 1960 law. We have also worked, I am a member of the Animal Welfare Board and I am their legal advisor, and we have also worked on the Animal Welfare Act 2011, which would have become law by now. Jairam Ramesh had promised us, but then, the minister changed and all that, and there's some delay, but I'm sure it will become law. The 1960 law was very relevant in 1960, but it's pretty outdated now. And yet, it is a good talking point. We need to know the law. We need to use the law as it is, which is why, we are going through this. Now see, Section 11 is what deals with treating animals cruelly. And this is one of the best, what should I say? It is so beautifully written. Section 11, subsection 1. Meera, you shared with Rakesh sometime back this case about those dogs which are in some building, kept caged in throughout the day. Now just see. Nena, we will go down to E. Treats an animal cruelly. Can you just, Keeps or confines. I want you to see this here. Keeps or confines any animal in any cage or other receptacle which does not measure sufficiently in height, length and breadth to permit the animal a reasonable opportunity for movement. Now for dogs, that a large receptacle is also bad. Dogs are not supposed to be in cages. Keeps for an unreasonable time any animal chained or tethered upon an unreasonably short or unreasonably heavy chain or cord. Now this is something Kanchi shared with me about this lab. She hasn't come today. About this lab who a neighbor of hers, has for a pet, and the dog is perpetually kept chained and never exercised, and one comes across this sort of case all the time. Now see, what I'm trying to say is the law provides for such a thing. Also, being the owner neglects to exercise or cause to be exercised reasonably any dog habitually chained up or kept in close confinement. So what I'm trying to say is, in 1960, they thought of all of this, and in subsection 1, they defined cruelty beautifully. So everything that you want to look for is there, but then we come to subsection 2. I'll tell you why it is a very good talking point. Suppose you meet somebody who's doing any of this, you can tell him, with all seriousness, that listen, there's a violation of law taking place here. And especially, Meera, what we try to do is, this is something of a practice we've made at Delhi, the group there. We always try to see who it is that is violating the law. For instance, if it's a government servant, before I go to subsection 2, I'll quickly do a bit of sharing. If it's a government servant, there was this person who was very senior in some ministry who had a Neapolitan Mastiff that he had kept for 3 years at his terrace at Mayur Vihar. I stay at Noida, Mayur Vihar is very close to Noida. He had kept him there in the terrace for 3 years. You can imagine what the animal must have gone through. They never got him down. They used to feed him. There was nothing on the top, no shade for him, nothing. There was water, there were biscuits thrown, there was some food. The animal was in a terribly bad shape. Now one girl managed to see all of this. I told her, alright, get me pictures. She managed to photograph all of this. And then she sent it to me. And what I did was sent him a legal notice straight away. I told him, you are a government servant and I am going to tell your ministry, everybody who's, above you, I am going to tell them that there's a violation of law taking place and it goes on your record. Okay. He immediately came around and said, I want to. Where he was being very hoity-toity, he said, okay, I want to surrender the dog. I'm not able to look after the dog. After which, I told Friendlycos, they moved in, we made him sign a surrender form and took over the dog. So what I'm trying to say is, subsection 1 is a good talking point. It also talks of dog killing, etc. I will come to that later. I'm first taking you to subsection 2. Then let's go. Thank you. Okay. See, now why this provision is not very effective is, one, see the penalties that it prescribes. They are so pathetic. 2, but the end of subsection 1, I am reading out for you the penalties that are prescribed. He shall be punishable in case of a first offence with a fine which shall not be less than 10 rupees, but which may extend to 50 rupees. And in the case of a second or subsequent offence committed within 3 years of the previous offence, with a fine which shall not be less than 25 rupees, but which may extend to 100, and he may get imprisonment, 3 months as well. So something which is enumerated so beautifully has this sort of penalty. Now that's one downside. Now let me tell you the second downside. See, in law you have what are known as cognizable offences and non-cognizable offences. Cognizable is when the police can take cognizance. You write out a complaint and the police can say, alright, a cognizable offence has occurred, I need to register an FIR, investigate and then file a challan in court. Then you have non-cognizable offences. Non-cognizable is where the police cannot take cognizance. You have to file in court. And unfortunately, most of the subsections that we just read out, confining an animal, chaining an animal, doing this, that or the other, are non-cognizable. So you go to court, you spend loads and loads, you engage a lawyer, you pay court fee, not that there's too much court fee on criminal complaints, and at the end of the day, you get a penalty of this sort imposed on the animal offender. So that's the second downside, pathetic penalty, and then most of these subsections are non-cognizable. Dog killing, by the way, is cognizable. Under section 11, it is cognizable. The police can take cognizance. So that's the second downside. Of course, in fit cases, for instance, when somebody rich, powerful, employed with the government, this, that or the other is concerned, it may be a good idea to file a complaint and get it on his record that there was a violation of law that the person was guilty of. Okay. Now I will come.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is it? I don't remember where I read it, but if you are a government servant in the area of animal welfare, then you cannot be charged with animal cruelty?
No, okay. It's like this. That is there in all laws. There is something about a public servant. No, not that. A public servant doing his duty cannot be charged with an offence if he was doing his duty in good faith. And whatever he was doing, if he was within the scope of his power, function, duty, etc., and doing it in good faith, he cannot be charged for having done that. Not that you're an animal servant, you go and murder and you can't be charged. You can be charged. For an infraction of law, everybody can be. Okay, it's just that if you've done something in good faith,
But
you were doing your
where I'm
duty.
coming from actually is
Yes.
that if you have an officer
Hmm.
of law or a government servant
Hmm.
who is supposed to perform a duty or discharge a duty,
Hmm.
and he is either by not discharging that duty or discharging it wrongfully,
Hmm.
that person is causing pain to that animal.
Hmm.
Is that animal cruelty? Can I sue that?
Yes, you can. You see, it would depend on the facts of each case. I always
Of
say
course,
that,
of course.
see, there is no general proposition, it would depend on the facts of each case.
But-
Anybody,
But it
oh
is a-
yes, you
it's a-
can.
It's a lawful thing.
Let me
right?
tell you, there is no municipal official, there is nobody else that is above law. In fact, I mean, all of us, I think it becomes a part of every lawyer's, all of us say, well, they are the bench, we are the bar. The judges are not above law. Of course, for them, there's a special impeachment procedure, but what I'm trying to say is nobody is above law. And I think every one of us who is an activist must go into life with this in mind. Okay? Okay, so that's the second thing. Now, Naina, we'll just go up to subsection L. Now I'm coming to dog killing.
Actually, just one quick question.
Yes.
You mentioned about these fines, 10 rupees, 15
Yes.
rupees, 25
Yes.
rupees, but these were all stated back in 1960.
That's right.
Isn't there any provision to factor in the inflation effect? Because
No.
1960,
No,
salary of
that's not the
1,000
way.
would have been a
No,
big-
that's not the way laws work. Laws have to be amended or laws have to be repealed. Now, we worked last year on the Animal Welfare Act 2011, which we gave to the Ministry of Environment and Forests in February 2011. It was on their website. It is still hanging fire. There were a lot of objections received, which we kind of, the reasonable ones we took into account and we redid certain portions of the law. I am sure that the law, the draft law will become law. We've taken all that into account. A law is repealed. It is not, or it is amended. There's no factoring in for inflation. You see, what happens is there's a
25
certain...
rupees back then would have
I
been-
understand. That's why I'm saying that's
would
the...
have been a hefty fine back then.
At that time it was. But now...
1960, 25
Yeah.
rupees.
Well,
And
you
see-
the value of a cow perhaps at that time.
Yeah.
Today should be around
I'm only
100.
imagining that you're now coming with a
it's
second
like-
version of the law.
That's why I say it's about justice. You have all sorts of laws being enacted. Now, for those that don't have a voice, which is why you have an organization such as the Voice of Stray Dogs. For those that don't have a voice, well, there have not been many people speaking for a change in the law. But now we are. So that will happen. Okay. L. Okay. Now this is about dog killing. L. This part is cognizable. The police can take cognizance. So if there is a dog killing, please get your complaints. Okay, I'll tell you how complaints are lodged also. Get your complaints lodged under 11 subsection 1 clause L. Mutilates any animal or kills any animal including stray dogs by using the method of, how is it pronounced? Strychnine injections in the heart or in any other unnecessarily cruel manner. Okay, now this is cognizable. Here. Now nothing in this section, there are some exceptions that are provided for, and there is one exception particularly in the context of dogs that I need to point out to you. The 1960 law said this: nothing in this section shall apply to B, the destruction of stray dogs in lethal chambers or by such other methods as may be prescribed. Okay? By such other methods that may be prescribed. This is what the 1960 law said. Okay. It says nothing in this section shall apply to the destruction of stray dogs in lethal chambers or by such other methods as may be prescribed. Okay. Now this is just a statement of what shall not be cruelty. But the destruction of stray dogs in lethal chambers was not defined. We cannot give our own definition and start creating lethal chambers. That is not what the law envisages. And it says or by such other methods as may be prescribed. What is prescribed? No. I'm just, What is prescribed by the ABC rules 2001. An incurably ill or irretrievably injured animal can be put down by a vet. Rule 9, which, yes, we'll come to the ABC rules also. Nothing else is prescribed. That is all that is prescribed. No municipality can do it. Nobody else can take it upon their, take it upon themselves to go about, to poison dogs or kill them or do this, that or the other. Okay, so if anybody points this out to you, please remember the only method that is prescribed is contained in the ABC rules 2001. Okay, then there is something else that I'm going to point out to you quickly and then move on to the next provision. Nothing in this section shall apply to, this is also something that all of us need to be sensitive to, the commission or omission of any act in the course of the destruction or the preparation for destruction of any animal as food for mankind, unless such destruction or preparation was accompanied by the infliction of unnecessary pain or suffering.